Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's maths lesson. I hope that you are all well today and you're ready to do some super maths today. So, as always, let's begin by seeing what we need for today's lesson. Today, you are going to need a dry white pen, a whiteboard, a pencil and paper, and some objects to count, about 30 of them. And as usual, things like pasta or pebbles or Lego bricks would be perfect. So pause the video here, see if you can collect all of those things in 2 minutes. See you in a tick. Bye. Okay then, welcome back. Are you ready for today's maths lesson? Now, if you remember back to yesterday's lesson, we were learning about odds and evens, and we're going to start off by listening to a song, and this song should hopefully remind us about odds and evens. Okay, here we go.
One, two, three. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Which numbers are odd? Which numbers are even? Hey, do you know? Hey, do you know? Which numbers are odd? Which numbers are even? Hey, do you know? Hey, do you know? 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We are called even. We can be shared by 2 without any left over. Hey, remember? Hey, remember? 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Even numbers. Even numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. We are called odd. If we are shared by 2, there will be 1 left over. Hey, remember? Hey, remember? 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Odd numbers. Odd numbers.
Well, that was a lovely little song, wasn't it? And hopefully that's helped you to remember about odd and even numbers. Now, those cheeky monkeys that had 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 on their shirts, they were the odd numbers. But remember, numbers that end in 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are also odd. And also any numbers that end in 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0 are even numbers. Now, welcome to the factory. In the factory today, they are sorting out odd and even numbers. They don't want any odd numbers. So you'll see some numbers going past on the conveyor belt, and you have got to shout out odd number if you see an odd number, and the foot will come down and squash it because we don't want them. We only want the even numbers to go through. Okay, are you ready to play? Here we go. Here's the first number, and our first number is 8. 8's an even number. Yep, we want that one to go through. Next up, 9. Odd number. Yeah, we've squashed that one. Next up, 13. Odd number. Yeah, squash that one. Next number, 20. Yeah, even number. Let that one go through. 32. Numbers that end in 2 are even. 31. Odd number. Ended in a 1. 88. Numbers that end in 8 are even. 57. Odd number. 92. That was an even number. It ended in 2. 15. Odd number. And that's it. We've sorted all of the numbers out. How did you do? Did you manage to spot those odd numbers? I hope so. Right, let's see what we're going to be doing for the rest of today's lesson. Today, our question is, how do brilliant mathematicians divide by 5? Well, we've already done lots of work on multiplying by 5, and that's going to help us in our lesson today on dividing by 5. So to begin with, here are some questions on multiplying by 5. and some repeated addition questions. And I'm going to ask you to pause the video here for 2 or 3 minutes to see if you can answer these questions. So pause the video and then come back once you've done them. See you in a moment. Okay, how did you get on with those? Well, let's go through the answers. Well, to begin with, we had some repeated addition questions. The first one, 5 add 5 add 5 add 5 was 20. And underneath we had 5 add 5 add 5 add 5 add 5 add 5, which is 30. And you might actually have spotted that 5 add 5 is 10 and 5 add 5 is 10. So we've got 2 lots of 10, 10 add 10 is 20. And the one below, we've got another 5 add 5, so another 10. So that's 10 more than 20, which is 30. Okay, on to the multiplication questions. And we have got 5 times 4, which is 20. And then next to it, we've got 4 add 5, which is also 20. Now, you may remember that word commutativity that we've talked about. That means 5 add 4 and 4 add 5. It doesn't matter which way around we do them. The answer is still 20. On to the next one. 6 times 5 is 30. And using that commutativity, 5 times 6 is 30. Both the same answer. And then on to the next one. 7 times 5 is 35. And 5 times 7 is also 35. Well done if you got those ones correct. Then underneath it says, how many groups of 5 are there in this array? Well, there's one group of 5 on the top and another group of 5. So there's 2 groups of 5. There's 10 altogether. Well done if you got those ones correct. Okay. So here's our friend Sunny, and today Sunny has got 35 cubes and he shares the cubes into 5 equal groups. How many will be in each group? Well, pause the video, just have a little think about that. You might want to use the things that you've collected to count to have a go at this yourself. So pause the video, see if you can work out the answer. Okay. Let's have a look at this one then. So Sunny has 35 cubes. The first thing we need to do is to count out 35 cubes, and we'll do that really carefully to make sure we haven't made a mistake. And then he shares the cubes into 5 equal groups. So I'm going to draw 5 equal groups, and I'm going to share them out equally. One for you, 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 and so on. There we go. I've shared them into 5 equal groups. Every group has got the same, and every group has got 7 cubes in it. So to solve this question, he's got 35 cubes, he shares them into 5 groups, and he's got 7 cubes in each group. 35 divided by 5 equals 7. So that was an example of sharing, where we were sharing things out. Also, sometimes when we do division, we talk about grouping. So let's have a little look at the sharing and grouping. So that's the question we just did. We had 35 and we shared it into 5 equal groups, and there were 7 cubes in each group. So that was sharing. 35 divided by 5 equals 7. If we think of this differently as grouping, if we had those 35 cubes, but we put them into groups of 5. So if we put those cubes into groups of 5, altogether we've then got 7 groups of 5. But the maths is the same, the number sentence is the same. We had 35, we put them into groups of 5, and we ended up with 7 groups. 35 divided by 5 equals 7. So we could solve those calculations by doing sharing or grouping. Let's try another one. We've got some conkers here. We've got 15 conkers. First of all, it says the conkers are shared into 5 equal groups. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've shared them into 5 equal groups. How many conkers are in each group? That's right, there are 3 conkers in each group. So with 15 conkers shared into 5 equal groups gives us 3 conkers in each group. Let's have those conkers back and let's see what that looks like if we were to group them. If we were to group the conkers into groups of 5. So there's one group of 5, another group of 5. Can we make another group of 5? Yes, we can. We've made 3 groups of 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. There are 3 lots of 5 in 15. Now, another way that we have looked at division is to use an array. And if we have a look at this array here, we can use it to solve these two calculations. Something times 5 equals something, and something divided by 5 equals something. Could you pause the video here and see if you can solve those two calculations? I'll give you about 3 minutes. Okay, welcome back. How did you get on? Well, to begin with, we need to know how many 5s are in that array. So there's a 5. So I wonder how many 5s we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots of 5. So in our first number sentence, we've got 6 lots of 5, 6 times 5. And all together, how many dots are there? There are 6 lots of 5, and 6 lots of 5 is 30. There are 30 dots altogether. Now, to do the division calculation, we know that there are 30 dots altogether. And if we put them into groups of 5, if we divide them into 5, we will end up with 6 groups. And those two calculations are the inverse of each other, the opposite. 6 times 5 is the opposite to 30 divided by 5. It's the inverse. Okay, let's try this question here. The farmer has picked 25 apples. He puts them into bags of 5. How many bags of 5 can he make? So you could sort this one out. You could solve this problem using the things that you've got to count. So we need 25 counters, and you need to put them into bags of 5, into groups of 5. How many groups of 5 will that make? Pause the video and come back when you've done it, and try and write your number sentence down too. See you in a moment. Okay, how did they get on? Right, let's see. Well, there's one bag of 5. There's another bag of 5, and all together that makes 10. There's another bag of 5, and 5 and 5 and 5 is 15. Another bag of 5, that's 4 bags of 5, that's 20 apples. And another bag of 5 makes 25. So all together, I've got 5 bags of 5 apples to make 25. Should we see what that looks like on a number line? Okay, so there's one jump of 5, and another jump of 5, 5, and another 5 is 10, and another jump of 5 is 15, and another jump of 5 is 20, and our last jump of 5 takes us up to 25. Okay, let's see if we can solve this problem. This is a mystery number problem because we've got a mystery number, and when we divide it by 5, our answer is 9. So our mystery number, if we put our mystery number into groups of 5, we will have 9 groups, 9 groups of 5. So to find the answer to this problem, I can use the inverse. A mystery number divided by 5 equals 9. So I know I can, if I work out 9 groups of 5, that's 9 times 5, that will tell me the answer. Do you think you can have a go at that yourself? Pause the video and see if you can work out what the mystery number is. And try the second one as well, where we've got our mystery number divided into groups of 5, and then we end up with 12 groups. What are the mystery numbers? Come back once you've had a go. Okay, let's use the inverse to solve the first one. So if we use the inverse, we can think of 9 lots of 5, and that would give us 45. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 45 put into groups of 5 will end up with 9 groups of 5. Let's try the next one. So our mystery number divided by 5 this time, we will have 12 groups of 5, 12 lots of 5, and 12 lots of 5 is 60. So I can use my multiplication fact knowledge. If I know my 5 times table, 12 5s is 60, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. Now, hopefully, what we've been looking at today will help you to answer these problems. As usual, we've got 3 problems for you to look at. So you'll all be able to do the first one, our canoeist problems, he's paddling along there. And then our sailing boat. Most of you will be able to try these problems. And then some of you might like to try the submarine problems. So let's go through them. First of all, some of you will like to try this one. These problems are all about dividing by 5. Complete the number sentences for each array. So the arrays have been drawn and you've got to fill in the missing numbers. And then the next one says use counters or use your pasta or your Lego bricks to solve. So 10 divided by 5, you will need 10 counters, put them into groups of 5 or share them equally by 5 and fill in the answers. Pause the video here, and I think 10 minutes will be plenty of time to do those ones. See you in a moment. Okay, here are our next problems, and we've got some division problems and some of those mystery number ones too, where you will need to use the inverse, to use your knowledge of your 5 times table to solve. Then our next question says, draw an array to show that 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then we've got 2 word problems there. A boat can fit 5 people. Work out how many boats are needed for 45 people. And then the next one says, Annie buys 5 lollipops. This costs her 50p. So 5 lollipops cost her 50p. How much did 2 lollipops cost? The first thing you need to do there is to work out what 1 lollipop costs. Okay, 15 minutes should be plenty of time for that. Pause the video if you'd like to try those ones. See you in a moment. And then on to our last problem, which has more? So there's 2 questions here. Which has more? 4 packets of biscuits with 5 in each, or 3 packets of biscuits with 10 in each. So you need to work out both of those and decide which is more. Then the next one, which is more? 9 baskets of 5 apples or 10 baskets of 4 apples? Pause the video here to have a go at those ones. I think 10 minutes should be enough. See you in a moment. Okay, let's go through these answers then. So to begin with, solving the problems dividing by 5. So first of all, it says complete the number sentences for each array. So in that first array, we have got groups of 5, and altogether there are 4 groups of 5. So that means if we've got 4 groups of 5, 20 divided by 5 is 4. On to the next one, and you can see we've got groups of 5 again. How many groups of 5 are there? If you count them up, there are 8 groups of 5, and altogether there are 40 dots. 8 times 5 is 40, and that means that 40 divided by 5 is 8. So on to the next ones where you had to use your counters to solve. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, 20 divided by 5 is 4, 35 divided by 5 is 7, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. If you've got 5 apples and you share them between 5 children, they each have 1 apple. Okay, on to the next challenge, and we had some division calculations to solve. 15 divided by 5 is 3, 25 divided by 5 is 5, 50 divided by 5 is 10, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. The next ones are the ones where you had to use the inverse to solve. So something divided by 5 is 7. And you can solve that one by doing 7 times 5, which is 35. So the next one, 55 divided by 5 is 11, 40 divided by 5 is 8, and 0 divided by 5 is 0. Did that catch any of you out? So if you have got no apples and you share them between 5 children, they've all got no apples. So on to the next one. You had to draw an array to show that 10 divided by 5 equals 2. So altogether, you'd need 10 dots, and you'd need them to be in groups of 5, and there would be 2 groups of 5. So that's what that array would look like. Or you might have had it the other way around. And the next question. A boat can fit 5 people. Work out how many boats are needed for 45 people. So that would be worked out by doing 45 divided by 5, which is 9. There are 9 lots of 5 in 45. So on to the question with Annie and her lollipops. So Annie buys 5 lollipops, and this costs her 50p. So we could begin by working out what 1 lollipop costs by doing 50 divided by 5. So 1 lollipop costs 10p. How much do 2 lollipops cost? Well, that's 2 lots of 10, which would be 20p. Well done if you got that one correct. And then on to the last challenge, which has more? 4 packets of biscuits with 5 in, or 3 packets of biscuits with 10 in. So we need to work out each one. So 4 lots of 5 is 20. There are 20 biscuits there, and 3 lots of 10 is 30. So 3 packets with 10 in is more than 4 packets with 5 in. And then on to the next one. 9 baskets of 5 apples. That would be 45, and 10 baskets of 4 apples would be 40. So the top one, 9 baskets of 5 apples would be more because that's 45. Well done if you got them correct. Well, that brings us to the end of today's lesson where we have been dividing by 5. Tomorrow we're going to carry on and we're going to be dividing by 10. So I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's lesson. Have a lovely evening, a lovely afternoon. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.